Hey there. I'm here to talk about motivation, specifically teen motivation. So, when a teen feels motivated, they have the right mindset. They don't have a fixed mindset where they limit themselves. They have a really open mindset, believing that they can do anything. With a little bit of support, teaching, working right alongside a teen, showing them a new way to do something, a little bit of practice really goes a long way. They must have autonomy. So they can't do whatever they want, but they have to feel as if they have some sort of choice and some sort of responsibility, as well as, over this activity, this thing that we're talking about, whatever it is that they're being motivated to do. So it has to be something that they feel autonomous about. They have to be related to it, related to those engaged in it. They must have a certain level of dopamine, and they must be able to be in flow. Flow is my favorite. I love when I'm in flow. It's totally different than, just being productive. Sometimes I'm productive, I get things done, I go through the motions, I'm pretty much on point. But when you're in flow, you're creative, you're going beyond just what you need to do into what feels like is meant to happen. It's just a whole nother experience that you don't even feel as if you're trying to motivate yourself. So a teen would just do it and flourish. So super important to remember these things about motivation. Teens need to be praised for their effort. So it's not just their ability. So oftentimes, for example, a teen may say, like, I'm terrible at drawing. And when they show you what they're drawing, it might not be the best drawing. But as I said before, it was just a little bit of instruction. Maybe they watch YouTube videos, maybe they go to a class, maybe they just keep practicing based upon a book that they're reading, whatever it might be. With a little bit of assistance, anybody really can be good at anything. And that's that open and positive mindset. To think right away that I'm terrible at something and then to believe that, then that's what you're going to be. But if you believe you can be good at something, that will motivate you. So it's that belief. And then as teens see a little bit of practice, week 1, my drawing looked like this. Week 2, wow, it looks a little bit better. Week 3, hey, I've been doing this a month now and I've been doing it every day. And wow, the growth between, the first drawing that I ever made to the drawing I made a month later is fantastic. So it's also good to have teens, kind of progress monitor themselves and see how far they've come. Because a lot of times we still think that same belief that we thought a month ago, but then when we actually look at our progress, we can realize, well, maybe I'm not telling myself the right story. So we want to tell ourselves the correct story to make sure that, we are as motivated as we possibly can be. So your teens have basic needs to have self-determination in order to be motivated. The need for autonomy, as I said before, to have choice, to believe that it is their life, which it is. We understand, parents, that teens are underage. And yes, there are certain things where you need to lay a boundary or you need to just say, you need to do this. Fair enough. But they do, giving them a choice. I've asked you to take out the garbage. Will you be able to do that at 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock? It doesn't really matter whether they do it at 6 or 7, it's that they take out the trash. So if you're giving them the option, okay, you're talking to your friends on the phone right now, all right, then your teen says I can do it at 7, then they do it at 7. So it's a little bit of, a song and dance between you and the teen in determining, how it's gonna happen. But as long as you can be a little bit flexible and they can be a little bit flexible, then it can work. Competence. Teens don't have to be good at something, but they have to believe that they can be competent. Again, it's mindset. It's, I might not be the best at something, but I can be good at it. Relatedness. They have to be able to relate to other people. And joining an activity, for example, it could be a club, let's say. and they're in the environmental club. And they love the environment. They like planting plants, and they make sure they pick up trash on the beach. They love animals, and they're in this environmental club. And then they find a group of people that feel the same way and do the same things. And then they can relate to those people. That gives them a sense of, self-determination. They feel good about themselves. They feel like, oh, other people like these things too. This must be a really good thing. Then they build up their confidence, and then they feel motivated to, go and volunteer and do things with the environmental club. So it just builds. So helping a teen to build their sense of control and supporting them in that is really important. So we want to kind of tell teens what to do because they're kids, and they are kids. And like I've said before, there's times when you just got to tell them what to do. But when you're in a good state and your teen's in a good state, and you can have a discussion, and they really can feel like they are in control of their destiny. And truly they are, because it's their life. Fostering that within your teen, and, asking them questions, and, being flexible with them, being vulnerable, and having like rich discussions with them. And then they, knowing what their outcomes are, what their goals, what their targets are, how they want to get there, and why they want to do these things. And really, taking that seriously and taking them seriously and listening to them, and letting them make choices. And making choices and taking calculated risks, and showing them how to make a calculated risk, not just a risk. Showing them how to make a decision and looking at both sides of, the situation, and what could happen if they go in one direction, what it could happen if they go in another direction. So just supporting them in that, and allowing them to have that personal freedom, but guiding them throughout. So a lot of times we want our teen to reach a goal. That you want them to get straight A's. All right, well, maybe they get straight A's, maybe they don't get straight A's. But along the way, we have to kind of celebrate them getting closer to their goal. So first, when creating a goal with a teen, it's really not just what you want. It's, what is, kind of getting to the root of what their goal is. And then putting in your 2 cents about what you think about their goal, and working together on that. But then also celebrating the success along the way and progress monitoring that. So if there's a specific class that they want to get an A in, and you're supporting them, it's not about giving them rewards for getting a test grade or anything like that, because we want them to intrinsically be motivated. So depending on the place of where your teen is at, they may need at the beginning some extrinsic rewards to kind of get them going and feeling that they are competent. Then little by little, we need to, get away from the extrinsic motivation so that they can truly feel that within they can reach this goal, and to give them, feedback as they go along, and positive feedback, and then support when there are, things that don't go right, and, kind of sitting down with them and figuring out, okay, well, that didn't go right. You may not have done so well on that assignment, but how can we work on it next time so that you are prepared and can do well on that. We understand that we want to scream and yell when they maybe don't get a good grade or make a poor decision. So obviously we want to support our teens in making the best decisions so they're not in situations that they can't get themselves out of. So that's a whole nother conversation. But with that being said, if they do make a poor decision that is not detrimental to their life, but something that they can learn from, an opportunity to as a learning experience. So as much as you might want to scream, yell, and all of those things, you've got to find a way to sit down with them in a calm state and communicate with them so that they can make better decisions next time, and that they can self-reflect and determine what they did do wrong and what they could do better next time. And you really want to encourage them to do what they love. And as I said before, it's not just about those extrinsic rewards. It's really about finding their passion and doing it because they love it. Because they love it. When someone is So teens are on all different aspects of the motivational spectrum. So I'm going to talk about a couple different scenarios where maybe you have a teen that's super motivated about something, but it's not about school. So it's about something else. You fill in the blank of whatever your teen might be motivated to do or to engage in, outside of school. So what we need to do is we need to foster in them that same passion in other aspects of their life. And it doesn't just have to be school, but obviously that's their number one thing at the moment while they are teenagers. So maybe they really love their job. Maybe they're really good at it. Maybe they have hobbies that they do and they fix things. Maybe they are into robotics. Maybe they, love certain, could be sports, it could be video games, it could be anything. It doesn't really matter what their passion is, but you want to kind of help them to obtain their goals in a serious manner and kind of explore how they need to get there. So if you're teaching them to, hone their skills on how to be a better lacrosse player, and you're kind of sitting down with them and how are they going to reach their goal and how are they going to do better, and they're mapping it out with them, then we have to do the same thing and take that passion that they have for lacrosse and help them with their math class in the same respect. So it's kind of taking something that they're really motivated about and working on it with them, and helping them to kind of transfer those same skills into a school setting. And a lot of times people are really passionate about something and they're really skillful with it. A lot of times the things that they're not passionate about, they're not necessarily good at the moment. So harking back to what I was saying before, they have to have the confidence that they can actually be good at something, even if it isn't something they're super passionate about right now. Then you have teens that are not motivated to do anything. So you see them in school, you see them at home, and they really don't have the motivation to do much. So again, trying to guide them towards their strengths. So again, they they may just say, I don't like anything, but you see strengths in them, and to try to question them and sit down with them and talk to them about what they feel their strengths are. Even if it's one thing that they can verbally say to you that they feel is their strength, and then trying to work on getting them involved in something that has to do with that one thing that they are strong with. That one thing, little by little, can build some confidence, and then they might find a second thing. So it's really about finding that desire within themselves. And a lot of times we want our kids to be involved in all kinds of activities and sports and clubs and things. But some people have a few friends and do a couple things really well that they like. And that's okay too. So you really have to know your teen and know what works for them. If they have a few healthy relationships, if they do a couple things that they're good at, then they're fine. Beyond that, then you want to push them a little bit more to do some things that are outside of their comfort zone, little by little, so that they can kind of build their repertoire of things that they're good at and activities and things in school and sports and so on and so forth. So you really want to expose them to other things once they can become comfortable in the things that they're really strong at. Then you have another scenario of teens that are super overachievers and super stressed out. They're taking all the high-level classes, they're in multiple clubs and activities, they do things on the weekend, they have a job, they volunteer, you name it. So they're involved in all kinds of things, and sometimes we have to not save them. At times they panic because they made a mistake. And sometimes making a mistake, getting a poor grade, not making a certain team is a natural consequence that they can learn from. So a lot of times they need to have that little bit of failure in order to realize that they're human, that they, yes, need to take everything seriously, but not this seriously. That there needs to be a balance, because a lot of times teens in this area are not taking care of themselves. They're getting really anxious, stressed out, they're having relationship problems. It's the perfectionism is seeping into all aspects of their life, and that is not healthy either. We know they want to get into certain colleges or they want to do certain careers, and that is very important. But what's truly important is inside, how they're feeling, how they're functioning on a daily basis. Are they healthy with what they eat, with the activity that they do? Are they moving? Are they getting around outside? Are they doing these things? And finding that balance and really supporting them in being able to create a balanced schedule and be able to, stick to that. They really need to have a healthy brain and gather that resilience within themselves to know it's okay to fail and not be perfect. And a lot of teens struggle with that. A lot of teens struggle, this kind of teen, with like being involved with everything. But hold on, wait a minute. Is it really in alignment with what your values and beliefs are? So things that are presented at school, such as clubs and sports, are not going to be something that is bad for your teen. But again, is it in alignment with them? So if they're in theater and they love theater, and then they're trying to play softball, but they have no, reason to play softball, or they're in, a certain honor society that is the science honor society, but they're really, really just into robotics. Is it really in alignment with what you want to do, or are you just trying to be in all this stuff to be in all this stuff? And then you're expending your energy in all these different places. And what's really most important is that you protect your energy, you place your energy in places that are aligned with you. That's healthy. It's not healthy to try to do it all and take it all on. So you really want to explore with them. Are they really happy? You want to support their autonomy and their choices, but then you also want to discuss, like, are we taking on too much here? A lot of times, teens like that, they need to not have a job. They need to cut the amount of extracurriculars they're doing. They need to stay more focused. They need to take a look at their schedule and possibly switch a few classes out and not be as rigorous with themselves, because they will burn out. And we don't want teens burning out. We want them healthy. We want them coming to school. We want them confident, happy, having friends, all of those things. We want to encourage them to do what they love, and we really want them to be internally motivated as well. With motivation comes self-worth. So is your teen's self-worth solely based upon school and their grades? Or do they have a balance? Do they have a balance between what they really like to do alone, what they really like to do with the family, what they really like to do with their friends? And are they valued in your home for all of the things they do, the whole child, and not just maybe what they're doing in school? So that's something we want to remember, we want to take seriously, because at times we can focus on, the negatives, but if your child isn't the best in school, they also have a lot of other things going for them. And we can support them to be better in school, and we want them to be successful, but we also need to understand about all the other areas and all the other ways that they're very successful in their own right. So the more that teens feel a self-worth, one way is having positive self-talk. That can really boost their self-worth, and a lot of times people don't realize how they talk to themselves. So if teens are talking negatively to their friends, they're most likely talking that way to themselves. So that's something that needs to be worked on to determine, okay, well, this is the interactions that your teen is having with others. What's the reasoning behind why they're feeling so poorly about themselves and talking to themselves this way? And how can we flip the script and get them into habits so that they are talking positively to themselves, feeling better about themselves, feeling more confident? So that's definitely very important in order for them to build that self-worth. As I said earlier, like, in order for them to engage in things that are challenging for them or things that are outside of the box, they must have that strong sense of self-worth. And you want to provide for them opportunities to feel challenged and possibly to fail, and also opportunities for them to do things that they can succeed in and build up their confidence. So it's a fine balance between both of those aspects. Whenever we're talking to a teen and we're trying to get at the bottom of what the problem might be, or the concern, or maybe you got a letter home that says they were really lazy, and that might be the case, that they were really lazy, and it might not be the case. But either way, they didn't meet the expectation of doing what they were needing to do. So instead of asking them why, it's really kind of getting at the gist of everything that's going on in their head that made them feel a certain way, talk to themselves a certain way, think a certain way, and then outwardly they acted in a certain way that was seen as lazy. So definitely, again, it's really building some challenge into your child's life, but also building in things that they can achieve. We want to make them really dependent upon their effort and their thinking. That's what we really want to praise them for. We don't want to make it about just the outcome. So we want to praise them for their effort. So if they have a high self-worth, if they have a high self-efficacy, they are successful because their effort. They have flexible views on their intelligence. So they're not very hard on themselves. They feel that they're smart. They feel like they can do it. They will definitely address challenges, and they will work on mastering their goals. They will not shrink. They will not be quote unquote lazy. They will be up for the challenge, and that's all, helping to support them in building that confidence. So we really don't want them to worry about external measures of their success. So that's like that extrinsic motivation, or worrying about what people are saying on social media or saying about them, or liking or commenting, or just face to face what others feel about them.